Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead tarot scope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they resonate with you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. And if you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. The cards have spoken. All right, so that's your first card. But before we get into it, your key to the week this week is the Strength card. This is, remember when the Strength card shows up, it's always kind of like, I see it as like the tarot or the universe or a connection of both. Kind of saying to you, it's almost like the universe is cheerleading you right now. So that thing that you're telling yourself, like, this is bigger than me, I'm not sure I can do it, I'm not sure I have the guts, I'm not sure I've got the smarts, you know, we all do this to ourselves at some point. But this week it's like you're getting that cosmic cheerleading energy to say, yes, you can. Dig a little deeper, find the energy and the strength within you because you have it. Dig past whatever it is that's telling you that you can't and find the energy that says you can. What I love about the Strength card is literally that, and it also sees you paying attention to and heeding the pull of your heart. So what is your heart pulling you towards? What is it that is really being sort of emanated in you, emanated out of you? What is that thing in your chest right now that is saying you have to go for this, you have to do it, and no matter what comes up, you will get past or over or through it? So interestingly enough, your actions and options card, all about what you're doing, is the Three of Pentacles, right? And what I love most about this is it suggests that you are learning this week, right? And not just learning about, you know, not just sitting at a table and reading books and stuff. You're learning in an emotional way. You're learning in a practical way that is feeding and nourishing your soul. You're learning about your inner strength. You're learning about your inner courage. And more importantly, you're learning right now, this week, about what is truly important to you. You might be called upon this week to learn something new on a really practical level. You may have to take some advice that you know, maybe somebody's given you a piece of advice recently and you're like, well, you know, I know this is sound advice, but I don't know, man, this feels like a little bit, you know. This week it's about finding the courage to push past what you know and take something new on board. If you're starting a new job, if you're starting a new course of study, the universe is basically saying to you, you have what you need to make this work. Work hard at it and the rewards are absolutely there for you. For a select few of you, there's another way that this pairing could work as well. This could be a week where you are getting to the bottom of, and here's why, right? You're getting to the bottom of some chronic health issue. Why? Three of Pentacles, some form of learning, actions and options. This is you seeking knowledge, looking for something. The Strength card can also literally represent your physical body and the state of it. This week it looks like you're learning something about your health, about your you know, the true home that you will always have, and that's your body. For your communications and conversations, you have the Judgment card. There is a big conversation coming up for you this week. So whatever you are talking about leads to a final decision. Remember, we do have a Mercury retrograde, so that is hanging around. So, you know, if you have to sign something, do. But I always say, like, get a fresh pair of eyes, somebody that is new to the whole thing, because it tends to be that they will spot something that you don't. With the Judgment card, though, it always precedes massive changes, which tells me that this week you are having a big conversation, and possibly a very heartfelt one at that. You know, this could be you having a real heart-to-heart with someone. It could be you having a big realization. It could be some sort of news that comes up. This could be the reconciliation with a friend that you've fallen out with previously. It's a, you know, this, I have to say, this is going to be, when I don't want to say that actually. What I do want to say is that it's going to be a big conversation that leads to an even bigger decision. For those of you that work for somebody else, this could be you handing your notice in, but it could just as easily be that promotion that you've wanted or waited for. And it looks like a lot of you have really worked hard for it. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is going to really highlight to you what changes in your business need to be made at the moment. And it will take strength. It will take courage. You are going to have to look at something and say, actually, you know what? This part of what I'm doing, or this portion of what I'm doing, isn't working, and you're laying it aside. But the beauty of that is, let's say you got all of these 5 things out there in the world doing something. When you take one of them away and say, okay, that's not working, the energy that you have in this is then evenly distributed amongst the things that are left over. So don't see this as like a moment of like, oh, this didn't work and now I'm a failure. See it as, okay, well, I've got time for the things, I've got even more time and energy now for the things that actually are working in my life. When it comes to those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this could be a big heart-to-heart with a family member, with a friend. It could also be that this week you make a big decision about what you're going to do with or for the rest of your life. No pressure, right? But it could be like, remember, the judgment card is always a final call on something, and it usually brings something that we've been dealing with or working through up so that we can assimilate the gems and the wisdom and the knowledge that we've learned. If you haven't seen it, please check out the weekly general. This will make a lot more sense when you do. For your money and materials, you have the moon card. I'm not a big fan of the moon card, I have to say. Not because of the sign that it represents or anything like that, but just it tends to be a somewhat nebulous energy. And so I was talking about the past earlier, right? About something that might come up to be assimilated. The moon card literally is the past. For some of you, I mean, there's one way that this could play out. For some of you, you could be clearing a debt, maybe paying something off in full. That's definitely possible. So this week, if you have extra money, you might think, oh, wow, I've got this. But then you've got that niggling feeling in the back of your mind that says, well, you know what? If I got this extra money, I could just pay that off. And once it's done, it's done. It's kind of like whatever blessing comes up this week, it's kind of really quickly swallowed. But again, don't let that be something that puts you off or upsets you. It's just another way of doing the steps that you need to, right? When it comes to big financial purchases, etc. this week, I would steer clear. Sorry, I've got that itchy nose thing. It's almost like somebody sits right in front of me with a feather and just does this. And it's only when it happens, like literally, it only happens when I'm doing readings. It's crazy. It drives me mad. The other thing is, the moon card can be not very clear when it comes to money, finances and resources. So just be aware of that. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the moon card is your waters basically. So this would be a good week to do some sort of a cleanse or a detox. This would be a good week for maybe go and see a lymphatic drainage specialist. If you can, where you are in the world. If not, try skin brushing. That's really easy that you can do from home, and it's actually quite gentle. Obviously do your research and please consult a medical professional, because I am not that, and this is not a substitute for that. When it comes to your home and environment, this is really you setting up new patterns and cycles. I say that because you've got the 3 of Pentacles. 3 is the number of cycles and recurrences, and then you've got the moon card. And the moon card is very much a cyclic or pattern sort of like energy. And so this week, setting up new routines, setting up new, and I have to say, because you've got the moon card here, you might be tempted to do something in the same way. Unfortunately, that energy it's not going to be possible. There are going to be some changes that will need to be made. For your love and relations, you've got the 7 of Pentacles. I've said this before for quite a few of you, and I will say it again. The work that you've done on your relationship is coming good. The hard work and effort where you've pushed past how you feel, what's going on, where you've had the tough conversations, it looks like it's starting to finally pay off, where things are easier and they're smoother. Don't get me wrong, there's still work to do. But yeah, it feels good. For those of you that are single, If I'm honest, I kind of feel that this might be a resurgence of an ex or somebody that you were previously dating. Just because you've got these two cards here and then you've got the Seven of Pentacles, you could decide, actually, you know what, I want to give it another go. I want to see what we would be without all of the distractions. And it does suggest that. Remember this card, right? So this figure is weeding the garden, tearing out what needs to be removed. And so that suggests to me that this week you are pinpointing the things that have held you back in relationships, or that held a specific relationship back. And this time maybe you're saying, okay, you know what, I think I'm ready to try again. I think we're ready to try again. All right, so for your Human Design Oracle card energy for the eclipse on the 10th, your message is the Gate 48 and depth. And I love this card, right? So I talk about new beginnings, right? You see there, it's got the rune Dagaz. In the runic system, that rune actually represents the dawning of a new day. And there is a finality about these cards, and what happens when something ends, it gives space and time and energy for something new to begin. So consider that this week, and consider what the energies or the trends and themes are that show up in your life or in your world. But yeah, and for those of you that are partnered as well, there could be a big conversation this week that really kind of cements the work that you've done and where you can go from it. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.